Since I began playing Rocket League back in 2017, I've always had the same goal. That is to reach SSL and the highest rank in the game. Now, as time has passed, I've realised this goal is actually a lot harder than it first seems. However, I've managed to achieve the rank of Grand Champion 1 Division 1, and that makes me feel like I can give you guys the best insight into how I've got it and the best ways you guys can get here yourselves, which I'm going to be doing in today's video, as I'm going to be showing you guys 15 tips which have helped me rank up as quick as possible in Rocket League, from basic tips all the way up to complex tips to help you guys out. This is the ultimate guide to helping you guys rank up quick and efficiently. So I hope you guys do enjoy. If you do, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. You should also join my Discord server, link in description. Now let's get into tip number 1. If you're looking to buy any Rocket League items or credits, then head over to the best place, which is going to be Aoa.com. Here you'll find the best prices with fast delivery and security guarantee. You can also use code MANSNOS at checkout for 6% off when paying with your chosen paying method. Tip number 1 is going to be a tip which applies to around about 99% of people watching this video, and it's going to be to actually warm up before you start playing comp game matches. Whether this is just in free play practicing basic mechanics or in training packs, you guys just want to make sure that you are warming up your mechanics, because I can't tell you how many times I come onto Rocket League, I start recording a video and I don't even warm up, and I find myself losing the first 1 or 2 games, not playing as well as I should, and this is just due to me down to being not warmed up. So yeah, make sure to definitely warm up. A training pack I always like to use is going to be the ultimate warm up for Hinata. Code's now on screen. Just make sure you warm up when you first come on. Now that leads me straight into tip number 2, which is going to be learning recoveries. Now these include a bunch of different mechanics, which obviously there are tutorials out there. So if you guys haven't heard of these mechanics, such as wave dashes or half flips before, then I recommend you go and watch the current tutorials. There's lots of good tutorials on YouTube. But you guys want to make sure you've got the half flip mechanics down, practicing stuff like jumping off the wall and making use of that wave dash just to get quick and consistent card movement as easy as possible. Another mechanic could be if you go for a shot and you end up in the opponent's net, drive up off the ceiling and then make use of that wave dash to get that speed down, and then with a speed flip you're already there. But again, just practicing all of these different recovery mechanics. Recoveries are a huge part in Rocket League. Tip number 3 I have for you guys is make sure you have your basic flicks nailed down in Rocket League. So whether this is just basic diagonal flicks like that, or different types of flicks like back flicks or front flicks, you guys want to make sure you have them nailed. For this, I do use a training pack. I'll put a code on screen. It's going to be this training pack right here. So feel free to pause the video and get that code if you need it. But it's just going to be making sure you have your basic flicks nailed. Flicks are a lot more important than other mechanics such as flip resets, because flicks do tend to come up a lot more in game situations such as ranked. So you guys want to make sure you can practice your dribbling and then make sure that you can hit really, really nice flicks, obviously very, very consistently, to help beat your opponents in game. Now that tip leads me on well to tip number 4, which is going to try and be avoid learning complex mechanics. As the reason behind this is because basic mechanics such as flicks or just aerial shots come up in games, and you have a lot more opportunities in games to score them than you do, for example, a reset musty like I've shown there. Obviously, I have bothered to learn these mechanics for the sake of them being cool for my YouTube. However, in order to rank up quicker, you don't want to waste time learning impossible and difficult mechanics to do, such as like multiple flip resets and stuff like that, because it simply won't benefit you in game. When the shots do come up and when you do get the rare opportunity to pull it off, most of the time you won't be able to, therefore leading the opponents to have a chance to counterattack. So it isn't worth it. Just focus on learning basic mechanics instead of complex ones. Okay, so now tip number 5 is going to be try avoid being toxic in ranked. Now this is one I don't feel I need to go into too much detail in. Just try not to get angry at your teammates. Obviously, you can't affect whether your teammates get angry at you, but if you get angry at your teammates, it's going to overall decrease the team chemistry. Therefore, it's likely to make you and your teammate play worse, which gives you guys a lower chance of winning the game. So just try and avoid being toxic as much as possible, especially in ranked. Tip number 6 is going to become a very crucial and important mechanic, especially once you do begin to reach the ranks of Diamond Plus, and that is going to be learning a speed flip mechanic. Now this can just be a very, very basic speed kickoff, but just anything to avoid doing the very, very basic kickoff, because what you guys will find is that lots of people will begin to do the special speed flip kickoff like the one I'm showing on screen here, and they will be getting to the ball quicker than you, and kickoffs are a huge point of your gameplay. So if you can get a nice little speed flip kickoff going, then that will work well. Some different variations of kickoffs that do work is just a double front flip kickoff. That does work. You get to the ball quicker than if you just full boosted like so. So just make sure you do learn a way to go for a faster flip on kickoff. Tip number 7 is going to be another important tip which you are going to also want to practice in free play, and that is going to be make sure you learning the locations of these small boosts on the field. For example, in games, you don't always want to go for these 100 boost pads that sit here. Obviously, they do give you 100 boost, but sometimes when you're in inconvenient space, for example, in goal, you've just saved a shot and you've got no boost left. These little 12 pads on the end of these box, like a little rotation like this, just to grab 4 12 pads or so, or 3, is going to be enough to literally help you guys get up and make that save. You don't need that much boost to be able to save anything in the game, so if you just get little rotations going together, where you guys can pick up a few boost pads on the way to the ball, that is going to be better than going for 100 boost, because it's able to keep you guys in the game, obviously help you guys get boost when you need it, so maybe 1, 2 through there, and then you can rotate in, there's 2 or 3 in a row here, and then look, we got 60 boost now, just from going through these small boost pads. It's a very, very easy and effective way to learn how to get more boost in Rocket League. Tip number 8 is going to be making sure that you can master these sort of basic shots that do come up a lot in games. The training pack I'm going to recommend you guys use for this is going to be the Basic Shots XXL training pack, which I go ahead and have saved. There is going to be the code on screen. 30 different shots, all that regularly come up in game for you guys to practice and get better at, and you would be surprised how many times these do come up in game, and just learning these mechanics and simply being able to put them in goal most of the time really will improve your rank, because these goals do come up a lot in game. Moving on now to tip number 9. How many times in game do you go up the wall and go for a nice little shot, then realise you've only got 10 boost and can't really do anything because you have no boost, or go up for an aerial and realise you have no boost? This takes into probably the most important skill in the game, which is going to be boost management. Now, how many of you knew that once you reach Supersonic, where these little trails come out the back of your car, so as you guys can see, with them purple trails coming out the back of my car, it doesn't matter whether you boost or not, you can't physically go any quicker. So when you actually reach Supersonic, this is where you actually want to stop boosting like so, and just save the rest of your boost. You're still going to be going at the same speed as to whether you were boosting or not, so just hitting Supersonic, whenever you hit Supersonic, you want to make sure you hold on to your boost. You can also use flips to get there with a little bit of boost, and then if you just consistently flip, you should be able to keep reasonably being near Supersonic all the time in Rocket League. So you guys can see how you start to save boost while just making use of the flip mechanics and making use of knowing when to save it due to Supersonic mechanics. Now on to tip number 10. How many times do you guys go to start a ranked session and solo queue into either a 2s or 3s game? This is an absolutely shocking idea. Obviously, solo queuing, we know, is very, very painful and very, very difficult, and you guys want to avoid it as much as possible. I would recommend teaming up with one of your friends, or just finding a team either somewhere on Discord or in communities, finding a team. I'm sure there's lots of people in my Discord server that would be happy to team up for games, so feel free to join that as well. But make sure you have a team when you're queuing into ranked, because you then improve your team chemistry and overall rank up. Whereas if you solo queue, you have to adapt to a new player every single game, and therefore this is likely to make you guys sometimes not have the best chemistry and go on to lose more games than you should. Tip number 11 is going to be making focus and use of a brand new mechanic which has just been added into free play for everyone. That is going to be the game speed mechanic. Me personally, I normally have this on 100%, however, I tend to put it on around about 80% to get optimum skill and practice out of playing at this speed. As you guys can see, it drastically slows down the game to 80% of its normal speed. And with this, you guys are able to practice lots of different mechanics which you wouldn't be able to before in slow-mo. For example, stuff like that sort of breezy flick just there, or more basic mechanics like other types of flicks in the game that you guys may need to practice to rank up. Maybe like a 180 flick just like that, or, well, that wasn't a 180 flick, but like a classy flick just like that, or just different types of mechanics that you guys may want to learn. This should definitely help you out being on 80% speed. So now moving on to tip number 12, it's just going to be playing nice and calm and a lot of the time defensive. Now the reason why this tip works out so well is because a lot of the time in ranked, teammates do tend to overcommit, and you don't want to be caught in this trap too. If you both overcommit as your teammates, then it means that no one is back. Whereas if teammate commits now and I'm just sat back here, we are able to just get that easy, simple challenge, therefore meaning that we can now stop their attack. This drastically decreases the amount of goals which you guys concede. You don't have to do anything flashy. You don't have to learn any incredibly good mechanics. You just have to have good game awareness as to where you should be and what position you should be on defense to help decrease the amount of goals which you can concede. As you guys see, we've just basically played basic on defense, and it's led to us getting a counter-attack opportunity which we're able to score. And this is the best way to score goals in ranked, especially when you guys are trying to rank up fast. Tip number 13 is going to be, again, practicing another training pack mechanic. Now, this is going to be basic aerial shots. For this, I tend to use Paquito's training pack with 48 shots. Code is now on screen, and this is going to be aerial shots dash pass. All this gives you is a bunch of scenarios which do come up in game all the time, and you guys just want to make sure that you are practicing these and becoming consistent at slotting these shots. Again, none of them are that difficult of skill, but you guys want to make sure that you've got these down and you begin getting these shots with as low boost as possible. So here you just want to jump, float your cart at the right time, and just put it into the net. You guys can see how just practicing these training packs, honestly, I know some of you guys that are in a high rank, maybe champion 2 people above watching this video, might not think this is helpful, but I guarantee a lot of you guys do miss these shots a lot in game. So making sure that you can practice these shots and just get them down drastically improves your guys' rank if you score consistently these shots, especially ones in the upper 90 like bar down. And I'd recommend anyone who is over the rank of around about plat 2 to practice this training pack, as it is definitely worth it and it's something which you do need to get down, just these basic aerial shot mechanics. Now, the second to last tip number 14, is going to be practicing uncomfortable and backward saves. Again, another training pack on screen here gives you 16 examples of shots which do come up in game, especially those ones at backwards. Now, those of you that might find yourself at a lower rank, you're not going to be that good at backwards shots. You may find yourself backflipping or not quite getting to the ball because you haven't really had any experience. What you need to do is jump, air roll your card to face the ball, and then get these saved like that. And this is the best place where you guys can practice this mechanic and just learn how to get these down, because a lot of the time in games, you guys will find yourself at an awkward or uncomfortable angle going for the save, and you need to make sure that you are able to still get the ball away. Whether this is making use of the air roll mechanics to put your car in the right position to save the ball, or just practicing a lot of training packs like this one shown on screen to make sure you do get these saves down. That is definitely what I would recommend you guys doing, and a very, very good and useful way that you guys can start ranking up quicker by getting these very, very difficult saves down and mastered. So the 15th and final tip which I'm going to be sharing with you guys in today's video is going to be making use of a mechanic which is in the game very, very often, and that is just going to be the demo mechanic. As you guys can see, a lot of the time when you do demo a player, it's able to just halt one of their attacks and then give you guys back possession of the ball where you can go for something yourselves. If you can just halt the demo, it really does help, because say for example making use of it just does give you guys a chance, whether this is for a bump for your opponent to get a counter attack chance, or just on defense to get a very, very simple opportunity with a bump. It does really, really work, and this is definitely a mechanic which I would make use for. Now, this doesn't mean, like I'm doing here, that you completely throw your game to chase and try and get a demo. That's not worth it. It's just being about being smart and actually going for demos sometimes when you can, just to help counter, because now teammate can lay this downfield to me, and I'm able to get another touch, meaning we do then get attack from it. You guys can see literally how just going for basic demos and bumps does actually help out. It is a little bit of a cringe mechanic, but actually it is in the game, so it does help out, and it is definitely worth it to give you guys lots of time on the ball and just improve the fact that you guys get more chances to score, because obviously demoing there is less people on the pitch. So guys, that is going to be all the tips for today's video. I really hope this video has helped you out with all the 15 tips which I have showed on screen. If it has, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.